All right, if you guys don't know, I actually have a business and marketing degree from the Haas School of Business at UC Berkeley. So I actually come from a business background before getting into my creative stuff. And so when I see different marketing strategies or different logistics strategies involving business, I love to actually look at it, analyze it, sometimes test things out myself. I A/B test stuff a lot. I don't really talk about it, but like I use different thumbnails or different keywords and things like that on YouTube just to try to get things going on that level. Same thing with my books. I test different things on that level also. A lot of the stuff I do, like, I mean, creatively, all the stories are just whatever I feel like writing creatively at the moment. But in terms of how to market those, that's what I usually try to test. And Rippaverse really provides an interesting analytics because it's so different than anything else out there. Eric July's really crushed it on a level nobody else has before. And so I want to see what he's doing. And of course, as an indie creator, replicate that. And then, of course, try to pass my findings on to you. If you're interested in creating or anything like that, I try to help because I want the whole community to succeed. Rising tide lifts all boats is definitely a motto that holds true. And I think we can learn from Eric July and actually test things out. So one of the big things that he did that, of course, shocked the world was not use Kickstarter or Indiegogo, where I think they probably would have banned him at some point because he's just too successful and he's too not one of them. So they would have come up with something to break the terms of service or something. He was wise to actually go on his own website at his level. But will that work for the rest of us? And that's a great question. And I've actually tested it. And I have some results for you, which I'll get to in just a bit. My most successful book is Overmind. This just came out, 33,890 on Kickstarter with 542 backers. This just got done on end of July. And of course, I've been running this on a pre-order store since then with Backer Kit, which has made another close to $3,000 at this point. So we're closing in on like $37,000 here, which is, it's not Eric July money, but like it's still in like the top 5% of Kickstarters. I mean, it's like very high up there as far as it goes. So I like to think I've been around the block and kind of know what I'm talking about a little bit on this. But I ran mine on Kickstarter because I don't think I have a platform big enough in order to drive people to it that they'll be there and they'll be buying. And I've actually tested this out. But Eric July's YouTube platform is his big thing. So if you go to Eric July, you can see his platform and how big it is. And this is kind of where he destroys me, right? 495K subscribers. That's nearly 500,000 people. So assuming, he's got a lot of comic background and a lot of arts background and things like that. And of course, a lot of people who want to support alternative culture on there, as do I here. But I've got 7,000 subscribers. So that's a magnitude a lot less than what he's got. It's gosh, is that 100 times? No, it's about 50 times less than his, right? 50 times, this would be 350,000, right? So a little bit around there, math-wise. So that means the magnitude of what I can expect backer-wise should be 50 times less than his too. He's also had some help, of course, because like his campaign went viral. It got on Fox News and things like that. That makes things quite a big different deal. But as you can see, he's got 39,000 backers out of his 495,000 platform. So if you go 495 and you go, 39,000. I'm just doing round numbers, guys. Over 495, you get about 7% of his backers there. So if you look at mine, 542 over 7,000, I've got about 7% of my backers. So the numbers are almost exactly the same based on my platform for advertising on YouTube to the amount of backers that I have. Now, when I go to my own website, that's different. So a lot of people find things on Kickstarter or find things on Indiegogo that they don't find on their own platforms. So even though that conversion rate's about the same, I also have the help of the Kickstarter platform when going at this stuff. And you can see I've got analytics on my Kickstarter, which is right here, where the funding all comes from also. So, a lot of like he has to direct everybody to his website, right? So he's been going on, of course, a lot of different shows. It's not just his show. You got to remember he's on Friday Night Tights and Nerderotic, right? He's been on Ethan Van Sciver's show. He's been like I said, Fox News before, all over getting different audiences here. So 7% of his YouTube audience has done that, but he's drawn them in from different places. I too have been on several shows, again, not of the magnitude that he's been on, but because of that, like I have a certain percentage that's going to probably likely come in also, and that holds true here. Now, Kickstarter actually directs people to it by itself. So if you look at this, direct traffic, no referrals. So these are people just going to it. That's 131 people. YouTube, look at how much YouTube directed me, 76 and $4,000 of that. So big heavy backers here from YouTube. Good stuff. So thank you guys for supporting. I appreciate it. You get a search. These are people specifically searching my project. Advanced discovery. So this is Kickstarter directing people directly to me based on their discovery. That's like 10% of my backers, 9% of my backers. Pretty good right there. So I got an extra 10% just with that. Email watch project when it launched. This also comes from Kickstarter traffic. So all this stuff like adds up on Kickstarter, right? And with that, it ends up like 20-30% of my backing. It comes from Kickstarter. Now, if I lost 30% of my backing right here, that'd be a big hit. And that's exactly what would happen if it was on my own website with this. Now, I actually tested this because I've got Overmind here. And of course, I've got it on the backer kit where it can be seen and people go to Kickstarter. That links over to this. So that helps having that direct traffic. But I tried things on my own website here. This is my Blunder Island, and I wanted to try this out. This is a great one for me to test something like this. It's an inside joke, so only people really who watch my live streams would understand what's going on here. So it isn't exactly apples to apples. Like Overmind's my serious book, and so it looks much more serious, and of course that helps too. But for people who wanted a laugh, who wanted a good funny book or whatever, I've got this on my website right now. Now, what I found is not that, while I got 550 backers on Kickstarter with that when I launched this on here without the crowdfund, without like the time limit and things like that, it's just on my website. I found that I had a magnitude of about 10 times less. So I've gotten about 60 backers on this so far. Now this is going to be up for a couple more weeks. It could do a little bit more on this front, but I'm finding that like my own website traffic, unless I'm live streaming, and I was off live streaming last week completely because I was at a tennis tournament and not paying attention to things, that I was not able to get anyone here at all. Now, when I took a week off during my Overmind campaign, because I went out for the 4th of July, I still was able to maintain backers through that. So people were still backing my project, even though I wasn't live streaming. And that's because people were finding it on Kickstarter. And that's the difference. So Eric July can do this. And the reason he can is his platform's so huge. He has critical mass. And he's such a huge name that I think it works. But I think if you're a smaller creator like myself, I would recommend against doing it on your own website until I don't know what the critical mass threshold is. Obviously, 495,000 subscribers is pretty good for this to work. But at the like 10,000 subscriber level, even less than that, I would use Kickstarter or something like that and then hope you can get discovered by random people who are searching comics on that website rather than just relying on people driving traffic directly to your website. It's like I said, an order of 10 times magnitude less when that happens. So interesting stuff. And that's my findings for now. And as you showed, or as I showed, 30% of my Kickstarter backing came from random people on Kickstarter as it was. Maybe more of that because a lot of that was direct referral and they didn't know where it came from. But at least that came from Kickstarter. That's something to think about when you're trying to sell your books and things like that. All right. What do you think about this? Am I right about this? This is my testing and my analysis just from what I've seen from personal experience. But, could be different for everybody else. I don't know. I'd love to hear what you think about this, whether you've tested stuff like this too. If you're a creator, leave a comment down below. If you're a reader, leave a comment too. I'd love to hear from you what you think about just the various things of crowdfunding. It's an interesting topic for me, at least. Hit the like and subscribe button. And, of course, check out Overmind. Still available. Love you guys. See ya.